What's up? What's up, y'all? We back for another episode live. Dot Connect Wednesdays, episode 26. Today our topic is going to be we're going to do a crypto 101 Q&A. Gary Gensler's position of power, SEC lawsuit against crypto mining and proof of work, and then we got some added gems, some etceteras that we're going to drop on y'all. So make sure you guys, everybody who's new on the call, make sure you gather your questions if you have any, and just hold them. You could drop them in the chat, but we're definitely going to do a Q&A for you guys.
Let me bomb on them real quick. I gotta go take care of something and then come right back in.
I bet.
Champ's doing most of the heavy lifting today, but I just want to share a video with y'all. This is good. Thumbs up. You can see it?
Yep.
All right. So this is the Today Show today, and they're going to do a segment for back in the day, and then they're going to talk about today. So listen, guys, this is how a lot of people sound.
90s click.
We do. We're going to go back for the special Throwback Thursday Daily Click, worthy of our 25th studio anniversary, back in 1994, before Twitter, before Insta, before email, all of that. Our anchors, Katie Kirk, Brian Gumbel, and Elizabeth Vargas, had one question, and it was, what is the internet?
The A and then the ring around it.
See,
That's what I said. Katie said she thought it was about.
Yeah. Oh.
But I've never heard it. I've never heard it said. I'd always seen the mark. There it is. Violence at NBC GE.com. I mean,
Well, Allison should know.
what is internet anyway? What do you write to it like mail?
No, a lot of people use it and communicate. I guess they can communicate with NBC writers and producers. Allison, can you explain what internet is?
Where is Allison? Times have changed.
Allison was our Google.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
We had a moment like that earlier this week. Remember we were talking
about like cryptocurrency. We're like, we don't get it.
What is this?
What are we saying right now that in the year 2044 or whenever the next one is?
We're saying, what is Bitcoin?
Bitcoin.
What is Libra?
That was great, man.
Fine.
Thank you, Chris.
That was in a Super Bowl commercial too, that moment.
Yes, yeah, for BMW.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Does your money play hard to get? Then open a NetSpend all.
So, Champ, you got this pin?
Yep.
Okay. So, guys, that's a short clip. If you look at the long form of the 94 clip or whatever that year was from NBC, they went on to say, listen, one lady was like, I'm not using this internet at all. There's no way I'm going to allow somebody to send me an email for me to take time out of my day to read it. So fast forward to where we are today. So I'm just telling you that the knowledge is key, right? We kept showing you that chart that shows the innovators and then kind of the early adopters. Don't let these people fool you. I mean, they're not the brightest either. They do have a script that they follow, so I don't expect them to know all things. But that chatter about crypto and not understanding what it is, it's just that. It's people that just don't understand what it is. I have casual conversations with people the other day, just in a coffee shop at a meeting I had. And the guy's a high-powered attorney for DuPont. Smart guy. He does intellectual property at DuPont. And I give him one project, right? He knew nothing about crypto. And this guy was all in. Like, yo, let me get your number. That made total sense. So be mindful of the mentors and the people that you have around you, right? Because when this thing takes off, we're going to be looking back on this 10 years from now, right? Some will be laughing and some will be crying because we're in the information age. At least back then, there was a lot of barriers to the internet. You needed a computer. You needed, this was AOL at the time for me. You had to go get the disc. We didn't have that much money growing up. So we didn't have computers. We learned computers in school.
That's cool.
That was our first introduction to the internet. And then finally, when we can get those discs that we would find in the mail, we would grab them because it would, AOL would give you so many minutes to be able to get online. So there was a true barrier to the internet back then. Then even when you got on the internet, there wasn't free-flowing information like there is today. So can you imagine missing the wave at the most pivotal point in history? Not because the information wasn't there, because you just didn't pay attention to it. Because this shit has to be in everybody's real well. There is no way nothing crypto related is not hitting the news cycle within your feed. Because the Ukrainian-Russian war, the sanctions on countries, crypto. Raising capital, crypto. FTX, crypto. You know what I'm saying? Like there's been some big cycles happening in cryptocurrency in the last 2 years. So unless you're under a rock and you're completely off the internet, then I say, all right, those guys are off grid. But if we're logging on today, there is no way. Do not let anybody trick you out of your bag to make you believe that this thing is not real. The other thing too is, and Champ will go into it later with the SEC rules and everything. Listen, they're going to obliviate this market. If not, we talked about it last week, even putting a global ban on cryptocurrency until, right? Because they've been testing out the digital currencies, CBDCs around the world right now, and it's not being ushered in correctly. One, two, it's not being adopted by people, right? It's not that they know that the controls are going to be in place. It's just at the end of the day, and I always like to give this example, my aunt in New York, when she was riding the train for so many years from the 60s, it was tokens. I mean, she was like token lady. So then when they moved over to MetroCard, there was still the option to use a token. I'm like, listen, you're going to have to get on this MetroCard soon. And she told me, she's like, no, they'll never get rid of tokens. And I'm like, all right. So she got a bag of tokens sitting there because they got rid of them. Or I mean, she might have changed them in and got the credit or whatever. But I ain't missing this boat. And this is why Champ and I created the university. So it's going to be. Regulations are coming this year. And we told you the exact order, guys. If it's not stablecoin regulations, all of it is just hoopla, right? They have to regulate the stablecoins before they go into the nuances of all the sectors of cryptocurrency. So right now you see them kind of skipping around, picking staking, picking this, picking that, illiquid here. No, stablecoins first. When you start to see stablecoin regulations and you see Tether out of here, let's go. Strap up. Champ.
Let's go time. All right. So look, first thing on the list, I want you guys to understand what is going on with Gary Gensler. This guy, since he came into office, I promise I was one of the guys who was advocating for him, because originally he was one of those guys that was super, super, super knowledgeable. He knew exactly what he was talking about. The information that he was spreading was factual. It was verifiable. And he was delivering it with such confidence. And here's the thing. He was actually delivering it to, and this is at a high level. He was in charge of crypto and blockchain at MIT. And, to most people, this already. To my newbies, I understand that you guys may not know this. So I'm going to walk you guys through it. So he was a big advocate for cryptocurrency and blockchain as a whole. And he was presenting this Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. He knew about, side chains. He knew about the technology. He knew about the execution and implementation that was going to happen even then, right? Fast forward, he got into position. He's now the chairman at the SEC. And there's been a lot of nonsense, for lack of better words, that's been going on with the SEC. And we know that because of ETHgate. So all my 1%ers, you guys are super abreast. I broke it down detail for detail so you guys can see, the players and how there was a lot of manipulation that occurred, and it's still going on to this day. So what I want to show you guys is Gary Gensler, he has one job, right? As the chairman, the SEC as a collective, the agency has one job, right? One mission statement. That is to protect the retail investors. If you do your job correctly, us as the retail guys, the everyday person, right? We should be protected. There wouldn't be FTX situations. There wouldn't be Celsius collapses. There wouldn't be Terra stablecoin, UST, where people lost life savings. Some people committed suicide. So it just dawned on me the other day. Me and Steve were having a conversation, and essentially I was just like, what bothers me the most about these guys? They're super knowledgeable, but as soon as they get into office, automatically they turn into puppets. So Gary Gensler was speaking to MIT. He was speaking to so many people, high level students. He was actually going to campuses, various campuses, and talking about blockchain and crypto. And he knew the intricacies of XRP, right? So as he's telling people about Ripple, about XRP, and he's talking about securities law and things like that, right? This is before he even came into his position. He was delivering it so flawlessly. It was amazing that somebody that knowledgeable would be coming into a position of power that could very well be beneficial to us, the everyday investor, right? Because all we want is a safe space to be able to invest our hard-earned capital and not have to worry about, we're going to be used for exit liquidity. So he finally gets in office, and when he gets in, he literally stops doing his job. The one mission statement that these guys have, he has not been abiding by it. So I want to walk you guys through a couple things, right? And it's going to bring us in the present day. All right, so first things first, we have an article that came out February 17th. This was just not even a month ago. It says the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission may be focused on custodial staking programs today, but does it have proof of stake blockchain networks in its sites? So for those of you who do not know, there's two big consensus mechanisms. There's a multitude of them, but there's two of them that we're going to kind of discuss today. There's proof of work and there's proof of stake. Proof of work is where you have mining, right? And then you have proof of stake, which essentially gets rid of the hardware. Whoever has the most amount of the coins kind of has the most influence, the most say-so, but neither one of them work, right? You have some amazing projects that were built on top of proof of work and proof of stake, but ultimately, neither one of them work. So here's what I want to point out. So proof of stake has to deal with Ethereum. Ethereum went from proof of work into proof of stake. And when this happened, the SEC started to go after a ton of different exchanges. A lot of exchanges were saying that there was a lack of liquidity. A lot of people weren't able to get their money off of these exchanges. These exchanges were, the CEOs were basically commingling the funds of the exchange itself and retail investors, and they were pilfering. They were basically stealing people's money, and their money wasn't truly on the exchanges anymore. So this puts a huge damper and a big black shadow over crypto. So when you notice certain things like this, you start to say to yourself, I'm never going to invest in crypto, right? Because you don't want to be a victim. So instead of learning how to effectively move in this space, some people just bow out before they even get in. They're just like, yo, here, my hands is up. I want no parts. And understandably, right? Nobody wants to be a victim. And you have to be super cautious about where you're getting information from, just like Steve said. This is very, very important. This is one of those lessons that you must keep at heart and in the top of your mind at all times in crypto. So I'm looking at this article, right? And what bothered me the most was the SEC started going after proof of stake and proof of work. But they gave proof of work, which is Bitcoin, they gave it the free pass. So when they gave it the free pass, they have XRP and Ripple in litigation right now, right? Still going on to this day. And the case was frivolous from the jump. But you gave Ethereum the free pass and Bitcoin the free pass. Now this is proof of work and proof of stake. When Kraken, another exchange where people are able to buy, sell, stake, and do all kinds of things, they have a bunch of offerings, right? Kraken has been transparent somewhat to everybody. It let people know what the liquidity was, what type of assets they had over there, and so have other exchanges, right? Everybody hasn't been operating at 100% transparency, but that's not expected because there are no true regulations that exist yet. So I'm reading this article and it says here in bold, it says the SEC's enforcement action against Kraken is not an enforcement action against Ethereum for using proof of stake, right? It was an enforcement action against Kraken for offering a staking service. And it says those are two different things. So I'm like, okay, when I first seen this article, it made me think. If you already gave Ethereum the free pass, if Bitcoin had the free pass, but you brought XRP into litigation, why are you focusing in on staking? Staking is a part of DeFi. Staking, for those of you who do not know, this is where you're able to, let's say you bought 10 Bitcoin, right? And they have a platform where you can send your 10 Bitcoin to this address and you're able to yield a certain percentage so you can get more Bitcoin, right? That's staking. You basically use your crypto as collateral for someone else or for the platform. They're able to lend it out. People take loans against it, and then they pay back the loans, and you make a certain percentage over time. So I'm wondering to myself, I'm like, now you're focused and fixated on staking, but there's liquidity crisis. There's so many CEOs that's just partaking in fraudulent activities at the time, right? You had Sam Bankman, you had Do Kwon with Terra Luna. There were so many of these guys that were just doing the most when it came to our investments. I say ours loosely because I had no parts of it. I'm a super seasoned investor. Steve is a super seasoned investor, and you all that's on this call, you guys too are seasoned investors, right? You guys are not going to partake in a lot of these offerings because they're not safe. The risk is too high. You don't want no parts of this. Right now, what we're doing, especially in these times where we're preparing for a Black Swan event that is to come, we're only purchasing and investing in whatever you deem necessary, right? And you're securing them properly. We've been over this a million times. This is why we advocate for you guys to buy cold storage wallets so you can properly secure your investments. But I want you guys to really think about this. If somebody who comes into office is like super smart, he's high level, and he's teaching blockchain and cryptocurrency, right? So he knows this stuff inside and out. He gets into space and then stops doing his job. So one man who has the power to literally control a lot of these things, he actually was having meetings with a lot of these CEOs in these companies. Sam Bankman, he met with him a multitude of times, right? You have multiple agencies investigating Binance's CEO. And right now, just the other day, one of the judges just allowed him to be able to purchase the assets on another exchange. So it's like the SEC is really not doing its job. And if you have the chairman who is an advocate for crypto, but then all of a sudden he just wants to paint everything with a broad brush and say everything is a security, that guy's bad for business, right? He's horrible, and he should definitely not be the person that's in place or position. The reason being is because when he has the opportunity to actually protect the retail investor, he's not doing it. He's not taking the time to actually scrutinize these exchanges, to scrutinize these CEOs, and do the right thing. Actually enforce by facts, right? He's just automatically assuming everybody is dealing in securities, everybody has to pay us fines, and it's not helpful to crypto, the whole industry, right? So this is why with Ripple and XRP being in litigation right now, it's such a big deal, and everybody is rooting for Ripple to win, right? So I have a super take on that. I'll address it on another call, but I just want you guys to understand what type of person you're dealing with, right? Fast forward, this just happened yesterday. So the SEC just filed a new lawsuit against a Utah firm. It's called Green United. Green United had crypto mining, right? And the SEC calls it a scheme. So essentially what they did was the company Green United, a promoter and its founder, they promoted that they had a green blockchain and they were selling investments of about $3,000 for green boxes and green nodes for this particular project. And what it was going to do was it was going to be a public, decentralized, global power grid. And when you mine the green tokens, it would increase in value over a certain amount of time. But truth be told, allegedly to the SEC, it's the green token is an ERC20 token that can't be mined, and the green blockchain just simply didn't exist. So what the scheme, or what the SEC alleges is a scheme, was that the company was using the funds that investors were, investing with, and they were buying S9 ant miners for Bitcoin, their Bitcoin mining rigs. And they were being passed off as green boxes or nodes to the investors. So it was actual hardware, mining hardware, that was being passed off for mining Bitcoin and not actual green tokens, right? So when I seen this, I'm like, okay, this is a double-edged sword. So if the SEC is worried about a company that is purchasing and investing in hardware for Bitcoin mining, then it's more than just the hardware that's in their sites. So now this is where the whole proof of work and proof of stake comes into play. So Bitcoin is the reason proof of work comes into play, period. It's the only reason it exists. The first transaction, or the first mine, Bitcoin, everything was all done under proof of work. So people use these hardware devices to be able to mine Bitcoin, but it takes up a lot of energy. Under no circumstance has it ever been deemed that it's a security. And there's a multitude of companies, right, throughout the United States, throughout the world, who sell mining equipment. Yes, it is energy intensive. It takes up a lot of energy, but no, at all, right? I need you guys to understand this. At no point has the SEC ever said, whether it was formally or informally, they never even hinted at it, that this hardware whatsoever was a security. But the SEC is alleging that it violates the Howey test. So with it violating the Howey test, now they want to come after mining. So here's the thing. I told you guys a long time ago, everybody who's been here, I've been telling you guys proof of work and proof of stake, it just doesn't work, right? Bitcoin truly doesn't do anything. Ethereum is beta. Ethereum pretty much doesn't do anything either. It's just a platform that came out that had smart contracts, and a lot of companies were looking at it and said, hey, this is a unique feature that I think it's easy for us to build upon, and we can build something in the ecosystem and make it thrive, right, on this layer one. But the problem is Ethereum transactions fail all the time. They're inefficient, ineffective. They cost a lot, right? So not only are they not going through, but you still may be charged for them. And it's just bad business. The product itself was never fully developed. And this is coming from the mouths of the creators, right? They literally said Ethereum was put out in beta mode. We put it out. And even now that they transition, all the coins are just locked up. So a lot of people, when you see the SEC coming after staking, they can stop every coin, but with the one coin that they cannot stop with staking is Ethereum. Why is that? It's because of the Shanghai update. So right now, everybody who was staking Ethereum, there's no way to unlock it until the Shanghai update, right? So now there was you had to have a minimum of 32 coins to be able to stake Ethereum. So there were so many people who were staking their Ethereum, and they were making money off of the Ethereum. But now that they've changed the consensus mechanism from proof of work into proof of stake, you can't unstake it. There's nothing you can do until the Shanghai update, and nobody knows when that is. It hasn't been given a date yet. So here's the thing. I don't want to get super technical and lose anybody. I just want you guys to take a step back and look at this. What is the coin that you think about when it comes to proof of work? Proof of work is mining and things like that. That's Bitcoin. That is the number one coin, right? So you have Bitcoin. The whole industry right now is tied to Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin goes up, the rest of the industry goes up with it, right? It doesn't matter if it's a couple pennies. It doesn't matter. Anytime that there's a moonshot when it comes to Bitcoin, the sentiment in the industry, it normally rises with it because everything is tied to Bitcoin at the moment, right? There's going to be a decoupling that happens, but we'll get into that later. And when Bitcoin drops, the rest of the industry drops with it. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, if they're worried about mining and they're worried about hardware now becoming a issue, right? They're violating some sort of securities issue. What's going to happen is the rest of the industry is going to fall victim with it. If you tie in Bitcoin, if you tie in Ethereum, and these guys are using mining machines and hardware, now you're not even just attacking a project, you're attacking an entire consensus mechanism that there are so many projects that are built on top of or and correlated with, right? So this is part of what Steve and I have been telling you guys for the longest. When a black swan happens, this is part of it. They have to cripple whatever impacts the biggest coins, right? It's always the top three: Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, right? Those were your top three, even in the past. Right now, they have XRP and Ripple tied up in litigation. You have Ethereum with this fake free pass, and then now they're attacking Bitcoin, proof of work. So I told you guys, anything that affects Bitcoin, if Bitcoin goes up, industry goes up. If Bitcoin goes down, the rest of the industry follows. We also told you there's an attack on stable coins. So when you attack the stable coin that's tied to Bitcoin, what's going to happen with the rest of the industry? It's going to drop. The stable coin that they're going to attack, this is the end all be all, should be the very last stable coin that they attack, is going to be Tether. It is the largest one. It is the number one stable coin, right? That's utilized. It is not the safest, but it is just the most widely adopted and widely accepted. So when they attack it, there's a marriage, and I'll show you guys this at another time, but there's a marriage that goes on between Tether, USDT, and Bitcoin. So once they kick the legs off of USDT, Bitcoin is going to drop. The rest of the industry is going to fall with it. So there's a lot of things that go on, and this all still ties back to Gary Gensler and these guys, but he's a puppet. So I definitely do not cut for him. He is horrible at what he's been doing, and the sentiment around the crypto industry, it all is the same. Nobody is cheering for Gary Gensler. Countless articles all show this. So I was doing a search and I highlighted this. So when the FTX debacle happened, it said this makes the SEC chair Gary Gensler look bad, again. So this is not his first rodeo. It's not the first time. He was here for Duquan. That could have been avoided. That was a stable coin. It was an algorithmic stable coin that was tied to a cryptocurrency project called Terra Luna. And he had the ability to stop it. He did nothing. He continued seeing a multitude of other CEOs and other exchange personnel. He would call them in, have meetings with them. And all of a sudden, it's just like, hey, everybody has securities. We're going to find you guys. So even if he was calling you guys in just on a humbug, just have a conversation. That's how he would bait you in. And then as soon as you would leave, they'll file a lawsuit against you. But in the meantime, there was so many people that was affected and people lost life savings. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that, but I just wanted to break that down for you guys so you understood, like, this guy is in place and he had the actual ability to protect the retail investor and did nothing about it. So people have started an actual petition to get him up out of there. So, if anybody here has Twitter or things like that, or you just follow the industry really close, normally when you hear anything about Gary Gensler, you're going to hear fire Gary Gensler. That's one of the trending topics, especially on Twitter and the hashtag. So, if you guys, have ever been affected or, you just feel the same way that I feel.
And fill out the form, man. Get to it. Fill out the form. Everybody on this call, fill out the form, forward it to anybody else who knows crypto, period. Yo, listen, one last thing about this guy right here. You have to understand. So if the SEC was put here for to protect consumers or retail investors like us, why would they ever allow them to sue these guys for hundreds of millions, tens of millions of dollars, right? And they're allowing them to pay for the lawsuits and fund their lawsuits with retail investors. You understand? You're supposed to bring in a third party, shut everything down. Before you take $10 million from a particular company, you need to give these investors their money back, period. Because for the last year, 2 years, these guys have been raising capital like it's nobody's business. Gary Gensler and these guys, they have the best entry points. They never have to put their own money up to make money. So that's just a perspective to think about. They could never recoup money after these bankruptcies, ever. $200 million to fight a case going on 2 years now. They got their ass handed to them in court today, too.
Yep.
I hope y'all find. I'm Spence. I see you in there. I hope y'all following these headlines.
Yeah, I'm really seeing how they these judges is at their neck, man. They're not giving the SEC no leeway. They letting a lot of wins go towards Ripple, and it's needed. You know what I mean? Just because these guys are crooked and everybody can see it, so it's super dope. Y'all definitely need to be following along.
And be mindful, guys. You got to understand. So even if you're not on the side of XRP, I get the ETH guys. It's like this war between the two, and I don't even know why. A loss for XRP or Ripple is a loss for the entire industry. You know what I'm saying? Not that they're going to set a precedent, because you still have to you still got to be able to withstand 2 years of a court battle. But we don't want anybody losing in court against these guys. And on top of it, these guys cannot be the ones to usher us in with the regulations. It's impossible with the amount of fraud that went on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're part of the 1% group, you got the story with, told by Champ with ETHgate. And if you don't, just look it up, piece it all together, and you'll start to see how really wild these individuals are. And we mentioned this on the last call the other day. Gary Gensler is a guy who is meeting with Vanguard, manages his wealth, his personal wealth, over $200 million. How does a professor, university professor, now part of the federal government, amass that much wealth? Vanguard. He's had more meetings with Vanguard than he has with any other crypto companies combined in the last 2 years.
Fact. Verifiable fact.
Yeah, he's a clown. Get this photo off. I'm tired of looking at this dude, man. Look at
his face, man, creepy.
It burns.
All right, so look, y'all. I'm gonna I dropped a video on this the other day.
Wow.
I want to show you guys something, right? So,
and hold on, Champ. Good luck too, because that Bitcoin short, guys, is printing money today.
Yes, sir.
That Bitcoin short is printing money today.
Yes, sir.
Good call.
So look, this is how we think, right? This is how we process data. You have to be aware of news cycles and dates. Anytime Steve told you guys this, I tip my hat to him, right? He told you guys anytime that there's a set date in cryptocurrency, there's always going to be a decline, right? There's always going to be a drop. Always. It never fails, right? And has always been proven correct since we've been in this space. Steve since 2015, myself since 2015. So I was doing some research the other day, right? And this article originally came out in January. Mt. Gox was a situation where it was an exchange where people was purchasing Bitcoins, and somebody defrauded the exchange, right? They took everybody's crypto, right? They took everybody's Bitcoin, and this was hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin. So what happened was they ended up halting all trading. They stopped everything. And this was on February 7th of 2014 was when they halted all trading. And there's 137,890 Bitcoin that's still remaining that have to be paid back to creditors, the people who were negatively impacted, right? So I want you guys to understand it. 2014, February 7th, the average price of a Bitcoin at the time when it halted trading was $800. Right now, the price of a Bitcoin is 22,000. Well, it's 21 that right now. It's 21,734. So if you look at the math, this is about roughly $3 billion worth of money, right? If you were to convert the Bitcoins into cash, right? It's about $3 billion. Once they unlock this, and I'm going to show you guys the ticker, right? I have a website for it to show you guys. Once they unlock this and they start sending these payments out, the date is 2 days from now, March 10th onward, right? And this is going to be paid out between now and September. So I want you guys to think about something. Yes, it's great that people's Bitcoins are being returned back to them, right? This is awesome. Common sense time, right? Think peace. If you were purchasing Bitcoins and you had them at $800 average cost, they're now valued at 21 grand. We're talking a $20,000 profit right now at current moment. Would you hold on to them or would you sell them? I want y'all to drop that answer in the chat. With all that profit off one Bitcoin, right? Your average buy-in was 800. Now it's at 21. That's a $20,000 profit per Bitcoin. Are you selling or are you holding? Which one you doing?
Yeah, I'm liquidating. I need my money back.
Come on, man.
Not all of it. Not all of it.
Right. Kiera said the same thing. Everybody in here was saying the same thing. They're like, yo, it's sold, it's sold, it's sold. Right? So when you think about this, right? Think about the sentiment that's about to happen. This is happening. This is in real time, guys. In 2 days, they're about to start relinquishing this money to the creditors. So look, I'll show you guys this. This is the actual Mt. Gox tracker, right? So this shows you the total amount of Bitcoins here, and it tells you the amount that's remaining. And this refreshes, like I think it's every 15 minutes, 12 minutes, something like that. So these are all the wallets that had no activity. So it's literally 137,890 Bitcoins. Here's the conversion, almost $3 billion. When this hits people's wallets and exchanges, people are going to sell. Even if they don't sell all of it, they're going to liquidate. Once this hits the market, we're going to go down. It is going to decrease. So you guys are literally on the verge of another buying opportunity. And again, this is not financial advice, not a financial advisor, just telling you guys to just be smart. As you're here in this space, you found projects that you believe in, that you want to invest in, you know, that you kind of studied and learned the ins and outs of, and you're looking at the prices currently. If you still believe in those projects, but the price declines and it decreases, common sense is, what do? You're buying and you're getting in on a sale, right? You're going to increase your position. Again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you guys, you're in early. You're early adopter. And we haven't hit mass adoption. We still at about 4 to 5% of the global population being in crypto right now. So when you start to see things like this and you start to get introduced to data like this, start thinking about how you want to operate, because your next move is what is going to separate you from just being a user and somebody who is able to profit generously in this space. Super, super important. But I'll drop this link for you guys as well. And I have all these links. I'll drop them when we do the replay, just so you guys all have it. I want to make sure that you guys, stay tuned with all of this. So Steve is going to continue to give you guys calls. He's going to continue to bomb on y'all. And they all been successful. It's been nothing that hasn't hit. So we doing something super right. And last but not least, I want to show you guys. This was a tweet from Look On Chain. So, well, you know what? I'm not even gonna show it. I ain't worried about it. Basically, it's a summary of this. there's 137,890 Bitcoins that's going to unlock. The dates is March 10th all the way up until September. So we don't know how it's going to impact it, whether it's going to impact it just in the short and it's going to be a quick shock, or if they're going to kind of try to streamline this process and start sending all these coins back out to the creditors in little bits and pieces, right? But you just know there's going to be a massive sell-off when it comes to Bitcoin, and that this automatically impacts it because everybody's so caught up in Bitcoin being scarce. The scarcity is what gives it value. And when you have a surplus of coins that's about to go right back into the market, that's common sense. You know how it's going to affect it. It's going to drop. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I just want you guys to kind of know what's going on in the space around you at all times, because it'll help you understand why the market is moving how it's moving. And then you guys can start positioning yourself properly. All right, so we had two people who were newbies on the call today.
Oh, one more thing, champ.
Okay, what you got?
Keep telling y'all about this shit.
Oh snap! He about to bomb on y'all.
Best startup 2023. Best startup employer. Right? What's the only crypto company on this list? Can anybody take a guess? And if you know it, don't say it. But number 35. Aha. Guys, it's on the radar. This is as institutional as you're gonna get from a project. Hedera Hashgraph. HBAR. It made Forbes today's number 35. The best startups. They're watching. They're tracking.
Absolutely.
So if you don't know what this is, figure it out. If you've been here, you kind of already know what it is. So HBAR. Shit, everything dropped today. It's about at 5 cents now. Back on discount.
Ooh. I dropped the link in there for them just because I know we got newbies in there.
That made my day. This was a nice one.
Yeah, nah, that's fire. I literally just saw that right before the call. Super dope. All right, so I just dropped the link in there. So this is a source that we use for everybody. Most of the people on the call, you guys already know how to use this, but to the newbies, this is one of those tools, for you guys to use and utilize forever. They have a smartphone app. So whether you have Android or iPhone, whatever, you can still download it. It's called CoinMarketCap. Click the link. It's going to take you to that project, and it'll show you some details about all projects, etc., the price, market cap, all that good stuff, right? But it's just one of those tools that you guys should definitely use and grow accustomed to it. I know Tanisha just bought her ebooks, so that's super dope. She hasn't bought anything yet. She's new. I think Steve, you helped out, so we in there.
I most likely will be booking a consultation, a one-on-one after this.
Yeah, now we could definitely talk. You know how to get us. You know how to reach us. Where are you located, Tanisha?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
That's right. Okay, perfect. I got you. All right. Actually, just bought some HBAR the other day too.
I got plussing up that bag over there.
What platform do you usually purchase from? I had downloaded Coinbase, but I never did anything last year because they got hit really bad. So
we transact mostly on KuCoin as a collective. but everybody can drop kind of where they make their purchases. KuCoin for me is just the go-to for everything that I buy project wise.
I downloaded that. I have that app on my phone.
Okay. Yeah. So just go through the I mean, clearly now you got to go through the KYC process, but listen, truth be told, they're an overseas company, so it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a formality. Uphold. Does Uphold have H bar? I haven't transacted.
Yeah, no. Oh, hold on, I'm about to verify right now.
No, Malcolm just said yes.
Yeah, because I think my man posted something about that the other day.
Yeah, Tone, appreciate that. So Tanisha, the easiest way to get money in crypto right now is if you have Cash App.
I do.
Yeah, so we're buying Bitcoin on Cash App, and then we're sending our Bitcoin to our wallet address, whatever exchange that we're transacting, and then we're converting our Bitcoin to a stable coin, and then purchasing, the asset. And again, Bitcoin's not something that I'd like to transact with because it is so volatile. Meaning, if I would have bought it yesterday at 22.5 and didn't make a move on it quick, then today I'm down whatever percent.
Right.
So that's where stable coins come into play with, that's what they're meant for.
Thank you. I have some of that foundational knowledge when you said to transfer it. So yes, thank you.
Okay. And then always do small increments if you get a little nervous, right? Just send whatever the minimum amount is and then just wait for it to come in.
Okay. Perfect.
But you almost can't make a mistake, guys. Listen, when Champion R first started in this industry, they would allow you to put the incorrect address. Now it's gonna, you one letter off or one character off. It'll tell you that's an incorrect address. So at least they've plussed that up.
Mm-hmm.
But shit, back in our days, and I still test it to this day, guys. Truth be told, when I do copy paste, I'll take a letter or the last character off, and just for me to see if it would catch it.
If it'll catch it
every single time, like at least for KuCoin, I can speak for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Cash App is the quickest way. What's the highest amount you guys are able to transfer? I've just been doing small increments. I haven't even tried anything past like 500. Can you go into thousands on Cash App, or is it just based on wherever you're at with their relationship?
You could do more than that, but I think it just depends on like when you first start. Because when I first was making my first or second transaction, I couldn't do no more than I think it was like 200 or 300 like that. And then after a couple days or a couple times of me using it, they plussed it up. So now I can send chunks, like big amounts.
Look at these numbers, boy.
Mm-hmm.
1,000, 2,000. Gary Gensler doing 2,000 a day. Spence been spending six figures since 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Spence, slow up, man.
Wolf talking about that was my play, by the way. Wolf, we've been doing this, man.
I just don't. I don't deal with Cash App. I've never had a problem with my bank account attached to KuCoin. So, and then prior to that, Coinbase was giving me 25,000 a day. So, but yeah, I pivoted once they started asking for blood.
Yeah, and and then you got to be careful too, because a lot of these exchanges that are still up and operational. One, you got to make sure that that there's actual liquidity over there. But it's some news that just came out earlier today too. India issued a directive demanding crypto companies to KYC, and this is like by law. So who's running the G20 right now. We talked about this the last call. The head of the G20 is India. So what they say right now is pretty much is law. You know what I mean? They setting the table. So anybody who knows if you don't know what the G20 is, watch last week's call. I went over it. We discussed it, but definitely do your research because it's happening. A lot of these crypto companies in the past, they wasn't allowing us to move and maneuver how we wanted to without KYCing. We could get through. A lot of that's about to stop, man. You know what I mean? Just to keep it short and sweet.
So we actually have a student of ours with boots on the ground in India, and I'm going to give you an article that he just sent me. Just like Champ said, you have to follow those. So mainly the third-party apps have started to offer direct crypto buy options. The e-rupee launched already. And then he's just basically saying it's slowly going to take over the informal economy. So India is going to be the first to really roll this out to the masses. And then there was an article that he sent me, so I'm going to share with you guys. Yeah, guys, definitely look at what's happening overseas. Those regulations are being ushered in. Because listen, even if the United States turned the lights off on crypto, it wouldn't even matter.
Mm-hmm.
The show's on. Yeah, definitely flip through that article and kind of see what's what. And it's funny how these guys set this whole thing up, right? So they started to allow cashless payment solutions because of COVID-19. Fuck are you talking about? That dirty money.
Yeah, man. You heard about that Binance situation? Binance to buy Voyager's assets?
Finance is doing a lot, man.
Valued at 1.3 billion, and they're gonna pay, I think, 20 million in cash. But they still being investigated as multiple agencies all at once investigating CZ. So before it can become final, they still got to kind of go through that yellow tape. So I don't, just anybody who uses. Does anybody here on this call? Anybody use Binance? Steve, you use Binance?
My .us account. I don't use it anymore, but I still, that's kind of one of my my off ramps if I need to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would offload the Binance before I sell anything to Coinbase.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't like about them was just they kept flip flopping between the time that they would hold your money. I used to have instant transfers on Binance. Then once Coinbase started to hold, then everybody started to kind of make that industry practice. And what do I mean by that? Meaning when you send money over, some might let you. So I sent 5,000. They might let me release 1,000 right away, and then the rest of it, 2 weeks, 10 days, 14 days, and none of it is disclosed like prior to you doing it, which is another issue.
Yeah.
This is why you need regulations. Like, why would someone not tell you? Like, I've driven through too much Easy Pass to know that I never know what I'm paying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, ever. And I never verify it.
That's why I just let the ticket come in the mail. That's how you know.
Whole ticket.
So, Malcolm, that's a dope point that you brought up too. So they did lose. Malcolm said, with what money? They just lost both major supporting banks today. So that whole Silvergate situation, is real, but it's like 90% of his customer base, it was all crypto based. So, with that bank pulling out, there's a lot of these people that's not going to have no liquidity. They're not going to have excess capital to be able to kind of sustain operations. So that's why we keep telling y'all, this isn't by coincidence. This isn't by happenstance. This is coordinated. They might give you little articles and things like that to make you feel that way. We've been telling y'all for so long, these banks do not have, these crypto banks and stuff like that, they don't have no liquidity. It's no money. So that's why anytime you try to buy something, if you're going to buy some small increments, buy it, get it off instantaneously. Like if you see on CoinMarketCap, this whatever exchange you're trying to use, it doesn't have a lot of liquidity, don't even play yourself, because you will be a victim.
And I mean, just the fact that you can see how many banks in the last 6 months have like been denying crypto transactions, because they know, listen, once that money, that fiat converts to cryptocurrency, there ain't no more tracking it. You're not coming back to their with that money anytime soon. So just start connecting the dots, guys. This is all common sense stuff that nobody talks about on the internet, but somehow everybody's talking about crypto.
Insane.
Connect Wednesdays. Spence, when did you start in the space? You've been 15, right? You've been in for a while.
Yeah, I first came across Bitcoin around 2015 when it was like $400. but
Yep.
I didn't participate in it until 2017, late 2017.
Okay.
It was $3,000 or $5,000. Yeah.
I mean, shit. I'm glad I got the knowledge, but goddamn, these price points came right back around again.
What? Crazy. Some of them better than what we got in.
Which one?
I said some of these projects, the price entries is better than when we got in originally.
Yeah, it's down 90%.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these projects, I wasn't even around back then. So that's another thing.
Yeah.
All right,
All
go ahead
right.
with the Q&A, guys. Whatever you got.
I might have a slow question, but when you was talking about the liquidity of some of these companies, what did you exactly mean by that? Like if you buy into some of these companies and they don't have a lot of liquidity, you're losing your money when you go into it?
So hold on, I'm gonna share something.
You gonna pull it up?
Yeah.
All right.
Share the screen. Chrome. So I'm gonna show you something real quick. Just flowing panel. So, all right. So this is CoinMarketCap, right? When you go down here, it'll show you certain projects and certain exchanges. The exchanges are here in this column. They'll show you what the confidence level is and the liquidity score. So let me show you guys something. So H bar is pretty much high across the board, but look at this number, right? So it says moderate. And this is the amount of money that's flowed through there today, right? So this is the exchange, fmfw.io. I've never heard of it. I've never used it, right? So I personally wouldn't trust it. But let's just say nothing else was available, right? And this was the only exchange that people were utilizing, right? If this said anything other than high, I'm not messing with it. So CoinMarketCap gives you a score, right? And all of this stuff you could click on, so it'll show you right here. It gives you icons that tell you exactly what each column title stands for. So I'm looking at the liquidity score, the volume, which is the amount of money that flowed through that project in a 24-hour period, and I'm looking at the confidence. So with this particular exchange that's down here, this WF whatever, it only has 114 liquidity score. I wouldn't trust this. So when I say liquidity, let's say you're trying to invest in HBAR on this exchange using Bitcoin. There's not a lot of money that's flowed through this project in a 24-hour period on this exchange, right? The liquidity score is at a 114 when you see others that's in the 500s, the 400s, and they're marked with a high confidence score. So this means if I send my money or my crypto, my Bitcoin over to this exchange to make a purchase of HBAR, and there's not a lot of activity that has occurred or volume that has occurred on that exchange, they may not have the funds on that exchange to be able to facilitate your transaction. So even though you sent the money over there, there's still fees associated, and they may not have the money on their end to be able to make the buy and then allow that money to leave their exchange when you convert your Bitcoin into HBAR and send it back to yourself. So what happens is they front load transactions or they'll backlog transactions. That means they'll hold your cryptocurrency on their exchange until other people come onto their exchange to use and deposit other cryptos and stable coins or whatever so that they have liquidity. That liquidity is what they use to then relinquish to you. So these exchanges still have to have money on hand to be able to just exist. So when one person sends money over there, if there's not a lot of liquidity, your transaction may never, ever be completed. It may go over there, but not be able to come off the exchange. So
here's
that,
the easier way, champ.
huh?
I said, here's the easier way. Just in case, right? Because he seems a little new.
Uh-huh.
My screen is up.
Yep.
Who asked that question? Devontae, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I can't sell something unless somebody's buying something, right?
Correct.
So you need if I'm selling, somebody has to be buying. If I'm buying, somebody has to be selling. So you see you see my order book here in KuCoin?
Mhm.
Bitcoin is constantly moving, right? If you hit a project, I can show you projects that only maybe in the last 24 hours, $100 went through it. So if I have $1,000 worth of it, when do you think somebody's ever going to be able to buy that if no one's buying?
Never.
So that's the issue with dealing with always going to coin market cap and looking at the confidence, the level, and how much money is actually flowing through it. So Binance being the number one exchange, the largest exchange in the world, would always have the most liquidity. But then when you start to flow a little bit further down, right? Because HBAR on Binance might show 10 million in 24 hours, and then they might go to a dud, and he only might show 10,000. So I would never take it to somewhere where there's no money coming in and out at any time. This is how these guys are able to manipulate the markets too, because they can shut these books down on exchanges also and slow things up. So this is what Robinhood was doing a few years ago with the whole GameStop situation.
Yep.
Basically turning the lights out, making sure that their cronies kept up.
Okay,
So
that makes
be mindful of and be careful with, right?
Yeah.
Where you from?
I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago. That's one of my favorite cities. How long have you been in crypto?
Oh, I just started.
You
So
just started?
I'm literally putting everything together.
All right. Listen, not to take nothing away from anybody else that's on the internet, but don't go too far.
Okay.
Do not go too far. There's a lot of misinformation. You start following the wrong guys, they could make your head hot. Because I follow the guys, and it's and some shit they say is cool, but there's a lot of paid hacks right now, and they'll tell you paid sponsorship. Now they're starting to do it because of Gary Gensler, and everybody's covering their ass. But for the most part, they start pumping these projects a bit too much. Just do your own research. We have a boot camp product that's 4 days, pre-recorded with Champ and I. It's not live anymore. But within there, I think day 3, maybe Champ shows you how to read projects, how to research the Discord, how to research the teams. This is far from the days of looking at a guy who's like showing you a monkey face for his avatar. You know what I'm saying? Like legit, most of these projects were like that. Like you couldn't figure out who the owner was. They weren't showing their faces. They didn't have no background. They weren't part of, they had no resume. These guys aren't on LinkedIn. Just some bullshit slapped together, and it looks great. And they pay these Twitter guys to just pump these things up. So when you start looking, when we say things like HBAR and VChain, and we give you those projects, they're not in that ecosystem of paying to play. They're actually running companies. They have case use. So they're going to make their money off of the partnerships, off of the case use. And then the word starts to get out.
Yeah, absolutely.
But definitely explore what's out there. But you're not going to find a guy smarter than Champ.
I'm in the VIP group, so I'm just getting all my information from y'all.
Oh, okay. So you know what it is then.
Yeah.
Did you watch the mining situation I dropped the other day on Helium Mobile?
I didn't get to that, but I did watch the last week's .connect.
Listen, we did a midday situation with the mining. It's posted. Watch it. It's less than an hour.
Okay.
I'll put you onto a real nice project, and you'll connect the dots when you watch that one.
Okay, I'll do that right after the call.
Yep, that's a good one. I appreciate you joining the university too.
Absolutely.
Kiara, you've been quiet lately. What's going on?
Oh, me? I'm just
No, Kiara.
Nah, Kiara. He's on Kiara.
You know.
Oh, I'm about to say, sorry.
I've been quiet, but I'm good. I'll get back in a couple weeks, but I'm all right.
That job got you on timeout. What's going on in that world, man?
Hey, I'm switching gears. I got a new bank that I'm switching gears with, so it's a little bit of transition.
Okay. Did you leave already, or you?
I'm in the process, so I'm waiting.
Any good information coming out of that side that can kind of give us a perspective on the industry? Your prior?
Possibly. I'm trying to see. It's a payment solutions Elevon with US Bank Corp.
Okay. Oh, congrats on that.
Yeah, definitely. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
So Eli, any concerns on ordering mining equipment / hosting software with mobile after the SEC saying, nope? Because that particular project deserves everything that they're going to get. You know what I'm saying? Crypto mining, like, and even just crypto staking, that's the infrastructure, like Champ was telling you, that's the backbone of the industry. It's not as clear cut as they make it seem. You know what I'm saying? Because if you do allow that to happen, then what's going to happen is they're going to force you to be institutional investors. Right. And we know what happens then. Most people are going to be locked out of these projects at the end of the day. But crypto was not set up to have a centralized system. So for me, I'm mining with the right companies, and I'm accumulating at this point. Whatever they do, but they're going to have to understand the nuances of how cryptocurrency works, because the same thing with like the tax, kind of blowback when they were putting the mining and everything into like just the same investment pool. And it's like, wait, hold on. I'm a service provider. Like, we have to identify who I am in this transaction. Right. Now, when I get paid from my bonus, you can call that an investment, but I'm a service provider. I pay for a piece of equipment that's adding to an ecosystem. Like I said, that shit, if it's not stable coins first, all of it is just, they just shaking shit that don't need to be shook yet. I'm all in. And then the price of it too, it's like, what am I going to do? I'm going to keep $2,700 in my bank account right now. I'm cool. I'd rather take my chance.
Especially when they doing account bail-ins.
And guys, we'll do a .connect on that too, because we're working on a plan. But the first thing is these major banks that you guys are with, the Chases, the Citibanks, the Bank of Americas, those are the ones you got to watch out for. So if anything, and if anybody's at all worried, then go to your local credit unions first. FDIC only has less than 2% to pay out. So where's all the money? What you got, Devontae?
So Champ says something about the bail-ins. I remember seeing that on your Instagram story, and you telling us to look up what that actually meant and how they're going to start going into our accounts and taking our money. So is there anything else to expound upon that? Is there any time frame on when that might actually happen? You know what I mean?
Nah, so next week we'll that's a whole topic in itself. That shit ain't gonna happen next week. So next week we'll have a talk on that. And we actually been putting a plan together. That's just going to give everybody the options to understanding, kind of what to do with their capital. But I would urge you, if you're in one of these major banks, just scale back, move some of your stuff locally, to a local institution. And just keep what you need in there. You know what I'm saying? Anything more, then you're just not doing the right thing. Anyway, even before we knew anything about bail-ins, like, you should, saving money in a bank is not the move.
Right.
Ever. Especially these banks that won't even lend you anything. There's an article I want to share with you guys, because this is part of the report that we're going to give you, but this can kind of give you an insight. So if you just, matter of fact, you guys just do the research on it, right? So when the US came off the gold standard, back after that last, what they call that, a pandemic also back then?
Nah, they called it a not a pandemic, but
well, this is coming off right after the whole Great Depression and everything, around that same time, right? Yeah. So go Google the story of what they did and how the United States was able to accumulate so much gold from their citizens when they came off the gold standard, because you had a certain amount of time, to get all your money, to exchange your gold for this fiat, right? And then just look at what they did to their citizens back then. Same situation, different era. Right. This is why they were looking to hire, all these IRS agents. It wasn't about PPP loans. That shit was, and the same thing with India. When India went cashless, they forced everybody, they had till midnight like the next day to bring their money into the banks to start getting their the currency kind of converting over. And then in doing so, they started to hit people with tax evasion charges now, because it's like, all right, listen, 1% of the population is paying taxes. Where did all this cash come from? So the US is not dumb. This is why they went after Cash App and, all the fintech companies. But they knew when the fintech companies came out that this was, they left the door open for things like this to happen. So yeah, now they're talking about, when it does happen, it's going to happen on a Friday. Right, because they're like, banks are closed on Saturday, Sunday, so it's just gonna leave people scrambling. So that's gonna be a weekend from hell.
Wow, this hell.
And now you kind of see and just peep this, right? So that Bank of America, the few banks that had the issue the last couple months with people not, money being gone, and they blamed it on the Zelle network. Think about it, right? So Zelle never had no problem. For as long as I've been Zelling, I have never had no problem. That shit is as efficient as FedNow, shit faster than crypto. Champ, you got it? Yep, it's here.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden, Zelle's having network issues. Now they always have to create a problem to give you a solution.
That's it. Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution.
Oh yeah. Insurance is definitely a way to sidestep that. If you look at my last post in my reel, I posted a gentleman today talking about that. So there's a way to self-direct your funds into life insurance, use that as your bank and borrow against it. So if you sit on some real money, then go ahead and do it. If you got a family, then they benefit from the death benefit for when something does happen. But yeah, now for sure, champ. I mean, Eli, this is how these guys are playing ball right now. Self-directed. So that's one of the things we'll put on the plan also.
Yeah, we got two, just for, and everybody interested, we got 2 playbacks for insurance, for, just insurance related projects or products. We had 2 speakers come on and talk to you guys. So the playback is also available in the Discord. You can scroll through that, or you can go on to YouTube and see it. It was a couple Dot Connects ago. We had two gentlemen come on 2 different episodes and talk to you guys about insurance.
So here's
Wait, where was that at? I'm sorry. Where was that? If you said a YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's on our YouTube channel. Have you joined the Discord already?
Yes, I'm in the Discord and I'm in the VIP chat as well. So
okay, so inside the Discord, when you go to Zoom replays, you can scroll through them, and all the replays are listed in there as well. And it'll take you directly to the YouTube channel, and you can go through .Connect Wednesdays. That playlist itself has all of the playback. So I know it was episode 24. We had Prominent Agency on there, and then we had another one with Andre Green, who's also going to be speaking with us in Philly at the Blueprint.
So here you go here, and I'll just share it with you guys also. Hold on. You guys see that?
Yep.
Roosevelt, this is right around the president during the Great Depression. See the headline? Straight like that. Straight like that. This will repeat itself.
That buyback looming.
So this is a good start point for you guys. To understand where we're going, you got to understand where we've been. Oh, Europe. Certain parts today, they put limitations on the amount of food you could buy.
Come on.
2 carrots, 2 tomatoes. I can't make this up, bro. 2020. Right.
Oh man.
Crickets loading. Nah, I can't make it up. But think about it. During the pandemic, the same thing happened, right? You couldn't go there and pick up 3 packs of eggs and go to the register. Right? No, you got to leave some for other people, the hoarding. All right. Z-Bugs. My man Rodney back.
Eat Z-bugs.
And guys, if you don't know these inside jokes, we're all things World Economic Forum. So if you don't know what it is, I would urge you to look it up and just look at the kind of the shit. The meetings are all over. If you just put World Economic Forum and Instagram and TikTok, they'll take care of you with them videos.
That's actually how I found you. I was I work in threat intelligence, and I was World Economic Forum was heavily on my radar. It's been heavy on my heart, and I came across your page, and that's how I locked in with you. So thank you for spreading knowledge and awareness.
Man, I appreciate you. And I hate to be even the guy to do a lot of that stuff. So now what I'm gonna start doing is just mixing in, because a lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm like, they're almost saying I'm clickbaiting. And I'm like, no, I'm just telling you the truth. So I gotta mix in some solutions.
No, I think that your approach is perfect for the people that are seeking the actual truth, but I do understand what you mean, because you want to be attractive, because you want as much as people to have the knowledge.
That too, right? So on my last post, the reason I had to shoot a part 2 the other day, because everybody's just like, yo, I'm part of the problem, right? I'm the one promoting CBDCs, and I'm like, no, I wasn't. I was just telling you a story about how people in other countries are using crypto.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see how some people could kind of tether that line a little bit. But it's like, well, shit, do you not see this this elephant in the room right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, World Economic Forum is pure comedy at the end of the day.
Straight bots and trolls, Wolf.
Yeah. Yeah. They caught me today. I ain't even gonna hold you. I don't usually get caught up with the internet shit, but I was like, you know what? Let me just do a part 2, but you will not see 3 and 4 after that.
Yeah. Now you cooked on that.
You're right. You're right. They did catch me.
He's slipping over there. I don't know.
Telling me my third eye not open. I'm like, what?
Yours is all the way open.
They got that machine learning going on. They like, yo, tell him about his third eye.
I'm not even gonna put it past you, man, because like you can get burnt out from this stuff, man.
Nah, facts.
I don't go too deep with it, especially on the TikTok side.
Oh man,
5,000 comments. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna have to miss over this one.
Mm-hmm.
Straight bots. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I might have been trolled, but damn, them bots smart as hell though. Because I could see it. I wasn't promoting it in directly.
Yeah,
I was just bringing awareness,
edifying the people. Yeah.
But the reason I don't like some of those comments to live, because then you have people who are actually looking to learn. Especially when I pick up things, when I'm watching certain guys, if I didn't have the knowledge I had, they could send me down a hole too.
Mm-hmm.
I just know how to discern the information quick for myself. And I don't go too deep with it. And be careful, guys, because we said this before, and I'm gonna keep saying it on these calls. Crypto tends to follow trends, and these young guys could come out with white papers. They can, build sites. They can get these coins, made in seconds, and make you feel like this is a real project. So 2 weeks ago was what AI coins, right? Because that was the topic, and then after that, last week was the Chinese coins, and that was the topic of discussion too.
Mm-hmm.
So, just be aware of whatever the news cycle is. You start to see a cryptocurrency projects just popping out the woodworks. Carbon credits, that's another one. I gave you guys some solid companies, and even if you follow. Even if it is a trend, I always like to just read into it, because that will be an industry. Artificial intelligence will be on the blockchain. Cryptocurrency, Chinese coins are on the blockchain. So all of it is real. You just have to discern, differentiate which one's real from which one's fake. China's easy to read though, because they're not like here. It's not, you don't just put up coins for free will and say you have a contract with the Chinese government. So when they endorse it, those are going to be easy to pick off, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, the last thing I want to bring up was that Canadian cannabis company that's allowed to sell cocaine. I don't know if you guys saw that in the headlines. That stopped. No joke, bro. They're like a large percentage of Canadians are on that sniff that coke. And they just made it legal for under, I think I want to say it's under like 2 grams.
Extra labs.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Hold on, man. What?
You can't even make this up, guys. I am telling you, this shit getting weirder by the day.
Whoa.
So remember, in times of crisis, this is what tends to happen, right? It's alcohol, drugs, gambling. You know, those things get pushed to the forefront. So when you start to see your favorite celebrity pushing a lot of this stuff on you, you might want to stop following that person, because it's the worst thing you can do to a public during a time of crisis is turn to, you know, drugs and gambling.
Wicked.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about all drugs, you know.
Wicked. They gave him a dealer's license. Oh nah, we in a different type of time right now.
And listen, the joint went up 100 and something percent. They sold off, but that's not a bad stock. It's only at 49 cents right now, I think. So it's just something for you to keep your eye on. I'm not saying to invest in it, but if I had to guess, cocaine is kind of sells itself.
Yeah.
So if I'm a coke dealer right now in Canada, you may have a problem on your hands.
Whoa.
What is it? 8 point? How many? Go back up.
Right here, 8.8 ounces, 250 grams.
Legal purpose only, not the consumers. Yeah, they be writing in some crazy shit. So what, are you just gonna look at this shit?
Right.
Oh, so they're gonna create synthetics off of it.
You know, you already use,
wow.
you know, you use poppy for, you know, a whole bunch of medicines for big pharma and all that type of stuff. So it's, I mean, I get it, but I still don't get it because this is wild. So they trying to.
It's all about 2.5 grams of opiate, coke, methamphetamine, and DNA. I mean, listen, they're gonna have to give it to these people, because when they pull the plug, you got to turn to something, or it's gonna be violence.
You know what's even wilder? Your guy Sleepy, man. He calling it double capital gains tax from 20 to 43%.
That's it. Remember, he wanted to tax crypto 80%.
Come on, man. To 43.3%. Come on, man.
Yeah, Spence, you're right about that. There's gonna be violence anyway.
They're gonna need something for not having any XRP. Straight up, woo.
Hello. Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah, keep up with the case, guys. It's any day now.
Yeah, man.
And they're gonna keep that one quiet. That mainstream media, that one's gonna be quiet.
For sure, for sure.
All right, any more questions?
Okay.
All right, listen, I'm gonna sign off. I got a couple more things to kind of.
Yeah, I got a question.
What you got?
So, if Silvergate went down, then what happens to Michael Saylor and Michael Strategies and stuff like that? Like the #1 like customer for them.
Shit, they've been cooked since before Silvergate went down.
I mean, ain't they like the top 5 who holds the most Bitcoin? You know,
man, listen, man, that guy been cooked since they told him to have a seat. Man, they took him off the board, and he talking about he was pulling off for other reasons and other endeavors he was pursuing. Man, listen, man.
Oh, tax evasion. Listen, he would have been if it would have worked the way he thought, he would have been the smartest guy in the room, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but when that guy started to go on that blitz, telling people to mortgage their homes to buy Bitcoin, I said, "Oh, this guy's in trouble."
Tripping.
Because his entry was what, 23, maybe?
Uh-huh.
And he's talking about, well, he can go down to 6,000. I'm like, no way can you go down to 6,001 without being liquidated. But to think that, what are you backing this by?
Mm-hmm.
And then he caught a tax evasion charge.
Yep. Right after.
Yeah, that guy, he's delusional. He might be on EYL next.
Yo.
I mean, you know, that's the only people that can save him is black people.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Yeah, so Devontae, we'll get into we'll get into the bail-in stuff. We'll make that a topic of discussion next week on Dot Connect, and then hopefully we have the plan. Yeah, hopefully I'll have it completed by then.
Okay.
All right, champ, you want to take them out?
Yeah, man. Listen, man, we appreciate y'all, you know what I mean, for tuning in. Episode 26. You know what I mean? Back next week for another one, man. We're gonna bomb on y'all. Make sure y'all tuned in. You gotta take the matter of fact, move it towards you, Steve, like the middle of you. Yep, there you go. I was just thinking about them today.
Yeah, if you don't know what this company is, just look it up, guys. We told you about it. You can buy pre-IPO Ripples on there,
along with a couple other bangers.
Oh yeah, for sure. PolySign.
Oof. Definitely can't wait.
I'm running out of money though, man. I'm running out of time.
We're about to plus it up. And we gotta make sure we put it into something so Sleepy Joe don't get 43.3.
I mean, listen, why wouldn't you give that up? If XRP went to 100,000, you'd be mad giving the government 40% of that?
Hell yeah.
Oh, damn.
Oh, damn.
I'm just buying coffee with that shit.
Nah, but I mean, your reward to, and then whatever you got to relinquish, I get it, but that's out of line, man. 43.
I'm gonna tell you what's crazy though. By the time before he gets to your 43%, think about what these off ramps are gonna take from you.
Oh, come on.
Coinbase would eat about 90% of it.
What? And the only stable that's gonna be government approved?
Oh yeah.
Come on, man. Backed by smart contracts and could easily hit the pause button on your joint. Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Yo. Puerto Rico, here I come.
There we are. Fuck. Nah, let me stop, guys. I mean, it's all jokes, but this is serious. Yeah, I'm out. Let me go check my ledger balances
right now.
Yo, listen, once a week, guys, you gotta take inventory on that stuff too.
Oh, nah, facts.
If you don't know what increments, I could tell you what I had 2 days ago. So now I start actually jotting it down, or just taking a quick little screenshot, and it's just always in your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Just a tidbit.
And you guys, there's an app I used to use. It's called Delta. I really haven't been keeping up because I haven't really been purchasing in this down market. But excuse me, it's an app called Delta, and I'll drop it in Discord so that everybody can have it. But it's just another way for you to manage your portfolio digitally. So your crypto portfolio has all the projects. You can enter in your buy-in, the date, time, so it automatically tracks everything. And this is another one of those things that we teach you guys on the self-guided boot camp. You guys have to make sure you maintain records of what you're investing in. You know what I mean? For this exact purpose, for you to know and for tax purposes.
Yeah, I kind of went away from that for various reasons. But if you want a quick little hack, so what I do is, and this is for Ledger and all of them, you know how you can name your account, right? So let's say if I bought XRP last week at 37 cents, I would name my account XRP, and then I would put the amount.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then the next time if I bought for 38 cents, I would name it XRP 38.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a tidbit if you didn't want to like give these third-party people all your data, because God knows that them tracking systems might be linked to them boys sitting here thinking they doing us a favor. So that's why I left Coin Tracker.
Yeah, that is smart too.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
They acting like they doing you a favor. I'm not selling, so I don't know what you talking about.
Long term is the key, man. Buy and hold them strong.
All right, champ. I appreciate you tonight. You killed it.
Word, man. Appreciate you.
You got any projects for them? You got anything to give them?
Nah. This I want to hold tight because I do want to. You already gave them that helium play. I ain't gonna give them nothing Web3 and none of that stuff until we let that fly. I got some other gems, but I'm gonna hold off and let them fly next time.
And then next .connect, I'm gonna share with you guys what I'm making on my mobile tokens, so you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
The Champ and I don't give you projects that we don't like. That one we haven't researched ourselves and that we're not like fully invested in. And again, it's not for you to invest. It's just for informational purposes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't just throw something at you and tell you to go figure it out. Did I drop that link for you guys? Yeah. So how the government seized all the gold. Just go through that. Take yourself back to 1930s, and that's going to give you a good perspective of this government and how they operate. Nah, but you know what? There's an IMF meeting in DC that I'm thinking about rolling to. It's a little closer.
That one is October. The annual joint. Is it the annual IMF meeting with the World Bank?
Oh, it's a spring one. This is in April. It's next
April
month.
10th. That's April 10th through the 16th.
Oh yeah, that Dubai would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dubai, yeah, crypto friendly. They know what it is.
Absolutely, and that's the
They're
stuff.
tokenized. That the entire place is gonna be tokenized. You'll
What?
be able to buy NFTs.
They ain't playing.
That Prince he's a pretty smart guy. He opened it up.
Mm-hmm.
He did the right thing by getting them boys out of there.
Saudi right on their tail. So Saudi got the blueprint too.
World reserve currency is changing, so. All right, brother. Love
Yo.
God. Be safe out there.
Definitely appreciate you. Yeah.
Well, y'all not tracking all that COVID data too. So for those of you, who think this shit is over, there's a lot of lawsuits happening right now. A lot of new data is coming out, and they're not talking about it. They'd rather, blow up chemicals in the air than let that shit hit the news cycle.
And derail
so they keeping us right. They derailing stuff, and they got to go from Ohio to Texas. So that means you're going to be carrying chemicals through how many states now?
Come on, man.
And understand that the government, and this is through an Obama situation, any land that's deemed, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like contaminated or
contaminated, right? The government can step in and take the land from you. So just think about how they would define the word contaminated and be able to take your shit from you. So they driving down the middle of America with this shit. And the four environmental guys that were supposed to go there to survey everything and give their report died in a plane crash. Can't even make this shit up. I'm not laughing at the death. I'm just telling you that this shit, you got to laugh to not cry.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't even hire new guys. You just say, yo, we're just going to move this shit and hold it in Houston.
Wow. And then they moved the whole Bitcoin mining operation to Houston.
Oh, I mean, Texas is eating on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why every time they have a storm, their grids go out. So they're not doing anything right.
Yeah, these wild times, man. Y'all make sure you strap in.
Bitcoin trash.
Super. Don't do nothing. But anybody else got any more questions or anything else for us?
Puerto Rico's another move too, because you're not too far.
Yeah.
I went out there a couple of years ago. We actually should kind of bring those talks back up again and just try to have a little meet and greet out there. They do a crypto Mondays every week in Puerto Rico. And I went out there just to kind of kick it with them.
Yeah.
But they don't know what the fuck they talking about.
Yeah.
Them white boys out there frauding.
That's fire.
Yeah, they out there frauding. They don't know what they talking about.
Damn, that would be crazy. That would be fire out there. Go out there, wreck shop.
Yeah.
Grab a mic.
For sure. All right. We out.
We gone. Episode
Appreciate
26. We done. Appreciate y'all.
Champ, I'll see you in the morning.
All right, my guy.